Hi YouTube, and welcome to another review. This is the review for episode 2 of Gotham, which was one show that I was so excited to see. And again, it's not disappointing. It's so different in regards to other sort of Batman, obviously because it's a prequel and Batman's not even in. I'm wearing my Batman t-shirt, my jumper, just for this review. Even though Batman, meaning Bruce Wayne's obviously in the series, but Batman himself isn't. This episode was called Selina Kyle and was supposed to focus more predominantly on Selina Kyle, but it didn't really. She was in it at the beginning for a bit, and then she was in it at the end, but it was filling us in on everything else. All the other characters, there was a lot more of Riddler in this episode. There's something to do with a drug to do with Arkham Asylum. Arkham Asylum is going to be coming into the series later on in the series. As is, there was references to Professor Pig, I think he's called, from the comic books. There's a character hired by Fish Mooney called Laszlo, and he becomes Professor Pig, who was this thingy. But also there's references to Hugo Strange in the episode. Hugo Strange is going to be in the series later on in the run. And references to Joker. I mean, Harvey called one of the other police officers a clown, so I'm assuming that Joker. I hope that Joker will be appearing something. We saw a bit more of Penguin, although he wasn't predominantly used as much in this episode as he has been in others. He's fled Gotham. He's gone on the run away. He's been picked up in a car, and he kills one of the people in the car because he calls him Penguin. And then he steals the car and drives to this trailer park and buys a trailer off this man. So he's sort of being misguided. His mother's also in this episode, but she pronounces his surname Kappelput instead of Cobblepot, which I don't know whether he changes it because it sounds more sinister or he doesn't want people to know about his roots or something. But it's definitely not the same surname. What else can I say? Bruce Wayne in this episode's testing himself. I liked this. I like this a lot because of him obviously trying to test himself to see if he can. Because later on he's going to become Batman. So there's a scene where he holds his hand on over a candle and burns his hand to test himself, just like he was testing himself in the end of the last episode when he's on the roof. So a lot of things are mentioned in this episode. There's references to the doll maker, who I think is going to be a big bad of this series. He gets two associates who kidnap children, homeless children on the streets. They try to take Selina, but they don't. They take people who are with Selina at the time. Selina flees and gets away because she has something to tell Detective Gordon, which is obviously something to do with the Wayne murder. We don't actually hear Selina Kyle speak until halfway through the episode. When she spoke, I was like, "It talks." It was quite I was expecting quite a deep voice from her, but obviously she's still only a child. So what we got was sort of a 13-year-old girl speaking, which was quite. But even then, I thought it'd still be sort of a hello, I'm Selina Kyle, but it was no, I'm Selina Kyle. But she likes being called Cat, obviously because it's reminiscent of the fact that she's going to eventually become Catwoman. But even her friends call it Cat. Are you hungry, Cat? Because these two associates of the doll maker are trying to persuade them to join the thingy with food. They bring some sandwiches and some chocolate, and then they kidnap them. They're using this poisoned pin that they put in the back of the neck, and it poisons them. And so the dollmaker is going to be evidently a powerful character in this series. We see some more Falcone, who I'd forgot the name of last week, but he's the one of the big villains of the series, the sort of mob leader. He even goes to see Fish Mooney in this episode in the club, and he seems sort of like he's got this powerful influence over her. They have a chat in public. All of her customers are still in the club that thingy, but he beats up Laszlo and says, "If you ever hurt Fish Mooney, you're going to die. Essentially, that's what he says. And then we see a side to Fish Mooney, which we hadn't seen last week. It was almost fear, and then anger, and then she shouts everyone to get out of the club. Everyone get out now! And they all do, and they all get up. So this is a nice side, a different side to the character, because last week we saw her as this sort of powerful, predominant female boss, sort of I'm in charge sort of thing, just calm. But we sort of see a weakness to her this week, which is a nice welcome change from last week. What else can I say? So yeah, the Riddler. I'm sensing he's not going to be involved till much later on in the series. We're only seeing him in bits. We saw Poison Ivy last week. We don't see any of her this week. But they make some reference. That is to say, they make some references to other characters. They also make a reference to Trident, which is a company. So either this means that it could be Aquaman's Trident. But I don't know why they put Aquaman in Gotham. But next week's episode is called The Balloon Man, which is making me believe that there's going to be a few Joker references. And considering in the other Batman comics and in the other Batman films, it's Joker's alias that actually kills the Waynes. It's making me believe that we're going to see the Joker sooner than we thought. When Selina Kyle does eventually get around to seeing Gordon, she says, "I've got something to tell you, and you're gonna like it. I know I was there. I saw who shot the Waynes, and then it was a cliffhanger. Obviously, we don't know who it is yet, or probably won't find out till next week now. But the whole point of Selina giving Gordon the information was to what essentially was happening is the mayor was sending all the homeless people, keep them off the streets, but sending them to juvenile prison of sorts, or to the nicer ones will get sent to a care home, but the ones like Selina Kyle would get sent off to juvenile prison. And she said, "Well, if you can keep me away from juvie, I'll give you this information." So he agrees to it. And she gives the information. We've not seen a terrible sinister side to Selina Kyle yet, but obviously there is time for that yet. I still think that Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle are going to meet up at some point because of their age similarity between them. Penguin is sort of becoming a villain now. He killed someone at the end of last week for no reason. He killed someone this week for no reason, and he's keeping someone hostage in the trailer for no reason, other than because he was there and he didn't. I don't think he could have killed the other one as well, but he didn't. But I do think he'll be back to Gotham at some point because, I mean, even though Gordon pretended to shoot him, he just shot next to him and obviously he fell. But they all think he's dead now, so when he does come back to Gotham, that's going to be a shock for Harvey and a shock for Fish Mooney and for Falcone, because they all think that Gordon just killed him, which is fair enough. But yeah, this series is just getting better and better and better and better. It's making references to loads of Batman-related things. I can't wait to see Arkham Asylum. I can't wait to see more of the Riddler. Riddler was always one of my favourite Batman villains. I can't wait to see if they use the Joker or not. I can't wait to see Penguin get back to Gotham. Can't wait to see what happens with Fish Moon. It's just one of these series that I can't wait. I can't wait to find out who killed the Waynes. This series is getting better and better and better and better. I don't have any bad things to say about it as of yet. I think this is going to be an amazing series. And I can't believe there's only 16 episodes in the first series instead of what America usually does and commission 22 to 24. But they obviously know what they're doing. So, yep. Next week's episode is called The Balloon Man. Hopefully we'll know by next week who killed the Waynes, or who Selina Kyle thinks killed the Waynes. And hopefully it will be Joker. So I will see you next week for the Balloon Man review and the review for Kill the Moon for Doctor Who, Series 8, Episode 7. Bye!